Roll the window down this cool night and risk just the scum on the shallow end of assumption. Time to come correct, son. Rapture my ears. You better hope it takes you.
Before I do,
About to drop you like Cain. Like Cain dropped Abel. About to drop you like Cain. You better hope it takes you. About to drop you like Cain. I had enough of your voodoo. About to drop you like Cain. You better hope it takes you. Up to Sodom, your Gomorrah, delivering redemption. Feel my resurrection. About to drop you like Cain. Like Cain dropped Abel. About to drop you like Cain. You better hope it takes you. About to drop you like Cain. I've had enough of your voodoo. About to drop you like Cain. You better hope it takes you. Before I
yeah, good morning, it's Uncle Lou here. That's right, it is me, Uncle Lou. After Dark, the college football call-in show. Click the link in the description of the video if you want to be a part of the show. Let's talk some college football. We're going to get started here in just a second.
Come on, man! Hey, how about you shut the f up? I'm doing Bluetooth, dick.
All right. I'm sorry. I got to do one more. I'm fired up today. Hit the link. Let's talk some football. I got to do one more.
Come on, man.
Crying Belly, that wasn't my wife. That was your wife.
Type.
Am I
Yep, good more than that. I just realized I did not change the thumbnail on the live stream. So let me let's see, what can I change it to? Something quick here. Let's see. Just change it to a picture of Billy Napier. No, let's not do that. Change it to a picture of, what is that? Phil Fulmer. Why would I don't know. I'm not sure why I would do that. Oh, God, this is an old one here. This is real old. Okay, I guess I'll change it to that. That picture's got to be 7 or 8 years old. All right, change the thumbnail. Forgot to change it before the show. How's everybody doing? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot about that. There we go. How about that? Let there be light. Yes, let there be light. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Is school out? There's a couple of low-level trolls in the comment section. Boy. Oh, man. I've had 3 cups of coffee. Yeah. You ever notice, though, the typers, they never call in, do they? They never call in. They just type. Type. All they do. What's going on? The portal is closed, so if they're on your team now, they got to stay there. They can't enter the portal. You can still get players out of the portal. If you need something, you can get somebody out of the portal, but a player can't join the portal now. So the rosters are 95% finalized across the country now. So be getting ready to start prediction videos here in a couple of weeks. I've got an updated top 25 list coming out probably tomorrow. I do one in February. I do one after all the spring games, which is now. And then I'll do a final, preseason top 25 a few weeks before the season starts. So top 25 coming out. Portal is closed. NFL draft was this weekend. DJ Lagway threw one pass in a garage. Florida's going 100-0 now because of that. It wasn't even a good pass, by the way. It was high and inside. It was a ball. It wasn't a strike. But he did throw one pass inside of a garage. So Florida fans are, besides themselves. Boy, what else is going on? I think I might have mentioned this a week or so ago. The trend is continuing. Florida State fans are starting to come back down to earth and join the majority of us here in reality. I'm seeing a lot of Florida State fans, that are starting to realize Mike Norvell doesn't know what he's doing, can't recruit, can't portal, can't coach, can't develop, can't hire, pretty much can't do anything at all. They're starting to realize that. I guess that's the good news. Of course, the bad news is just because you realize it doesn't mean anything's happening about it. They can't afford to fire him. They gave him a raise and an extension after he got beat by Georgia 63-3. And, they're pinching pennies down there, hoping to try to get out of the ACC by 2031. So it's great that Florida State fans have moved out of the land of delusion and are starting to migrate back towards reality. Unfortunately, you're going to be dog shit for the foreseeable future because you're stuck with that no good bum. Mike Norvell, what has a losing record 3 of his 5 years at Florida State. I tell you, is there any coach in the country, I'm being serious, is there any coach in the country that has been at his school for 5 years or more that has 3 losing seasons in the last 5 years and hasn't been fired? How long has Clark Lee been at Vandy? He's probably got 3, but that's the point. You're talking about your Vandys, schools like that put up with that. This is Florida State. Florida State is accepting a coach that has had 3 losing seasons in the last 5 years at Florida State. I don't know what's happened to Florida State in Florida. It's not like Miami has been some kind of great football program over the last 20 years. In fact, they've been mostly terrible. Haven't won the ACC at all. Never made the playoffs. Haven't won no New Year's 6 games or nothing like that. But they don't put up with 3 losing seasons in 5 years. At least Miami's firing their coach when they suck. Florida and Florida State have just given up. They're like, yeah, our coaches are terrible. They have no idea what they're doing. They're in over their head, but I'm just going to keep them around. Oh, my God. It's unbelievable how far Florida and Florida State have fallen. Like I said, Florida State fans are at least starting to kind of migrate into the realm of reality. Florida fans, no. They're still celebrating their 7-5 season from last year. It's unreal. They celebrate their loss against Georgia. They celebrate a 7-5 season. It's really, really weird. Florida was at one time a very proud program. And now they've just sunken down into depths of despair that I didn't think I would ever see them fall into. But they're down there and they're waddling around like a pig in their own piss and poop. It'd be sad if it wasn't so fucking funny. Yeah. Florida and Florida State, man, they've given up. They've just given up. I hate to see that. I really do. If you want to come on and talk some college football today, let's see. Here's the link. We'll talk some college football. The NBA playoffs are on. The Pacers. Did y'all watch any of that? It was a great game. The Pacers and the Bucks. Unfortunately, I had the Pacers -8, and they only won by 1 in overtime. So I did lose that bet, but it was a great game. I haven't watched any of the Pistons-Knicks game because I don't have a bet on it. And I haven't watched any of the Magic-Celtics game because I don't have a bet on it. But both those games are underway. The Clippers and the Nuggets play at 10. In the wonderful world of regular season Major League Baseball, which if you're watching that, boy, you need a hobby. I do have some bets on that today. I've got a bet on the Yankees -1, and they're winning 14-2 in the 9th inning. So that should be a winner. I've got a bet on the Cubs -1, and they're winning 8-0 in the 8th inning. So that should be a winner. And I've got a bet on the Giants, which don't play until 9:40. So doing good in baseball, lost my basketball bet. So let's hope we can make it up here in Major League Baseball. Of course, the Pay-Lou Revolution, full steam ahead. Winning week last week. Down to start the week this week, though. Had a losing record on the Pay-Lou Revolution yesterday, Monday, the first day of the gambling week. So trying to dig myself out of a hole today. See if we can do it, courtesy of Major League Baseball. We talked about this on the morning show today. If we need to spend more time on it, we will. But listen to me. There are not 100 people that have ever lived that you could gather up to beat that fucking gorilla. Okay? There is nothing. You have no way to damage it. There is nothing one human or 100 humans could do to a full-grown silverback gorilla to damage the gorilla. Nothing. There's nothing you can do. You can't bite it. You can't break his bones. There's literally nothing you can do. The gorilla would rip 100 men limb from limb. The only question is how long it would take. That's it. There's just nothing. There's just nothing that 100 humans could do in hand-to-hand combat with a silverback gorilla. So I don't understand the small minority of people running around that think the 100 humans could beat a silverback gorilla. It just would never happen. It just would never happen. Silverback gorillas can push and pull between 2,000 and 4,000 pounds. Silverback gorillas can rip trees out of the ground. The PSI in their hands can crush a human skull. Their bone density is 3 times that of humans. Their muscle mass is 3 times that of humans. Their skin is 3 times as dense as humans. You can't bite it. You can't poke it. There's no amount of hard you could hit it. It wouldn't even be close. It wouldn't even be close. So shout out to the one silverback gorilla that would absolutely humiliate, destroy, and murder any 100 human beings. And so don't even argue with me on that. Good morning, but you're on with Uncle Lou, though, and 2, and also in addition to that as well, and 2, and also.
Uncle Lou, what's going on tonight?
Hey, what's up, buddy? Good to hear from you.
Hey, man. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, man, hey, I wanted to call and talk a little bit about the NFL draft. I know a lot of the conversation is kind of centered around how far Shedeur fell in the draft, but another guy that I thought he didn't fall super hard, but, I mean, given the circumstances, and if you think about how good he was in college, and if his injury history just ends up being like a blip on the radar and doesn't end up being super serious, man, I feel like the Cardinals just got an absolute steal with picking up Will Johnson at number 47 in the second round.
Will Johnson. I don't even know who that is.
From Michigan, the cornerback, Lou.
Oh, I thought you said quarterback.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. No, corner.
Yeah,
sorry,
I agree with you. If it wouldn't have been for his knee injury, he was a top 15 pick. I think he's the best corner in the draft. But, well, they don't like injuries at all, the NFL, but particularly knee injuries when a player hasn't had time maybe to completely come back from it yet, because some people, and I think running backs get a lot of attention when it comes to this, but it can apply to any position. Some running backs have that knee injury. They have the surgery. They come back. They don't skip a beat. It's like nothing ever happened. Other running backs come back. They're never the same. I can think of several examples just with UGA. Keith Marshall has some injuries, never the same. Nick Chubb had the same injury. It's like nothing ever happened. It's like the guy got better. Every injury, he got better and better. So I can understand the NFL being hesitant to draft Will Johnson in the first round because you're not 100% sure on the injury. But I agree with what you said. If he is 100%, then they got a steal there with him, because I think he's the best corner in the draft.
Yeah. Who do you think, after watching the draft, I mean, other than Will Johnson, or maybe you think it was him, who do you think which team you think got, one of like the better steals, you think, from a guy that was a real good player and just he, for whatever reason, fell, or who do you think, in your opinion, was a real good steal for a team?
I mean, I'd probably have to pull up the list of draft picks to go through it, but I mean, I'd have to pull up the list. I can't tell you off the top of my head some random guy that went somewhere in the third round that I think might be good. I'd have to pull up the entire list of draft picks and just go through it, and I'm not going to do that.
No, that's cool. Yeah, man, that's all I got for the night. Good to chat with you.
All right, buddy. Yeah, appreciate you calling in. It was good to hear from you. Thank you for taking the time. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
So, Uncle Lou, I'm curious. What do you think about Shador Sanders getting drafted 5th round and the prank call?
I think the prank call is ridiculous. I mean, that I felt bad for Shador Sanders with that, and all the other players that happens to. Shador Sanders gets all the attention, but this happened to 4 or 5 players this past weekend. So I don't know where these kids are getting these. Well, I know where they got Shador's number from. They got it from the Atlanta Falcons, but I mean, Shador Sanders is fun to laugh at because he's just the attention thing and all that. But I mean, try to, whatever your lifelong dream is, do you want somebody doing that to you like that? Like, I didn't like that. So I didn't get any enjoyment or get a kick out of somebody prank calling Shedeur Sanders. As far as him going to the Browns, it was funny to watch him fall to the 5th round like that and all. But to be honest, I know the Browns are terrible and all they do is ruin quarterbacks and blah, blah, blah. Who on that team is better? I'm being dead serious. Deshaun Watson's never playing again. Forget that. Kenny Pickett? Come on, man.
Yeah, he was a Philadelphia Eagle at one time.
Come on.
And then he switched.
Dylan, look, there ain't a soul in here, including an Oregon man, that honestly believes Dylan Gabriel's better than Shedeur Sanders. There can't be. There can't be. Joe Flacco is my age. So if he was going to go in the 5th round and be drafted as a backup, he landed in the best possible position in terms of having a shot to actually be a starter at some point. I mean, Joe Flacco's 40-something years old. I'm not kidding. He's 40-something years old. Kenny Pickett is no good. Shedeur Sanders is better than Dylan Gabriel. And Deshaun Watson's never playing again. So, I mean, as funny as it was to watch him fall, I'm not going to be surprised if Shedeur Sanders makes the Browns as maybe a backup behind Joe Flacco and takes over the starting job at some point. So.
Yeah. What do you think about Kyle McCord getting drafted to the Eagles, I think?
Well, all I think about that is that he got drafted ahead of Will Howard, just like I told everybody. You know why? Because he's better than Will Howard. That's why.
Yeah.
Now, neither one of them are playing in the NFL. They're not NFL quarterbacks, neither one of them. But Kyle McCord is better than Will Howard, and the NFL agrees.
Yeah, I agree. I like Kyle McCord when we played college ball, but I don't think he's going to be an NFL quarterback or starting NFL quarterback.
Right.
And for Will Howard, he's going to get a hard lesson of humility. He's going to learn that he's never going to start in the league.
No, neither one of them are. I don't even know why we're talking about them. They're not starting in the NFL.
All right, well, that's all I got to say.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you calling in. Good to hear from you. Kinda. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Yes. I was going to see, I know during the...
Hey, what's going on? Is it moving day? There's a lot of noise.
I'm in a vehicle at the moment.
Are the windows rolled down? Are you on the roof? What?
No, nothing like that. Just a noisy vehicle.
Are you on Bluetooth or what? All right, go ahead. I'll make it quick though.
Okay. I was going to say during the next year's Slav Olympics, I know that it's during hockey season. I was going to see is there anyone planning on maybe trying to make a Preds game if there's one in town that week? I don't think
that and the Nashville Predators hockey team and the SEC conference basketball tournament will be in Nashville the same time that we're there. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the call. I just I can't take the. Sounds like you're in a wind tunnel there. Sounds like you're in a wind tunnel in that. Yeah, the Predators won't be playing at home that week. It's the weekend of the SEC basketball tournament. Oh, is the tournament played where the Predators play their games? Is that what it is? Yeah, if that's the case, then no, the Predators won't have any home games because the SEC conference basketball tournament will be that same weekend. So jackpot is right there. Shout out to the guy that called in. No hate to the guy that called in, but I can't, I can't hear anything you're saying. That's all. That's all that is. Yeah, can't understand anything you're saying. Oh shit! Did I hit the wrong button there? What am I doing? I might not know what I'm doing. I'm just kidding. Of course I know what I'm doing. All right, there you go. There's the link. Let me check some scores here. What's going on? Nothing there. Okay, good. The Yankees are now up 15-2. That's great. I've got the Yankees -1. That's easy money there. Cubs are up 8-0 in the bottom of the 8th. I've got the Cubs -1. Again, easy money. And then I've got the Giants on the money line, but they don't play until 9:40. So they don't play till later. Should we bet the last NBA game of the day? The last NBA game of the day today is a playoff game. The Clippers at the Nuggets. The series is tied at 2 games apiece. And it's pretty much a pick 'em. The Clippers are a 1.5-point road favorite at Denver. The total is at 209.5. Should we bet that game? Should I put a poll up and let y'all pick it? And I'll put a bet in on whatever y'all decide, or what should we do there? Nuggies, Clippers. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Lou, you should bet on the Braves. Well, the Braves game started a long time ago, bud. The Braves are up 5-1. So, I mean, there's no point in betting on the Braves now. It's in the 4th inning. They're up 5-1. Yeah. I can't name 3 NBA players. I can name more than 3 NBA players, but I can't. I'm no NBA expert. I just watch it from a gambling perspective. That's all. But who can I name? Well, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Jalen Brunson, Steph Curry. What's the guy with the beard? James Harden. Nikolai Jokic. Now, the guy for OKC, I know his name. I just can't say it. That Shea Gilgeous-Alexander or whatever, that French fucker that plays for OKC. I know him. Who else do I know in the wonderful world? My buddy, the Italian stallion, Dante DiVincenzo. He was one of my favorite players last year in the playoffs. He played for the Knicks last year. They traded him to the T-Wolves. So, yeah, Anthony Edwards and my Italian buddy, Dante DiVincenzo. Yeah. Yeah. In that. And also. And two. Wayne Campbell, what's up, buddy? It's been a while, man. What I was about to have to drive up to Atlanta, put my finger under your nose, man. You all right?
Yeah, what's going on, Lou? I'm good.
What's up, buddy?
Good to hear from you.
Yeah.
And then I had a couple things. Kind of just you was tripping me out with saying Dante DiVincenzo. I was laughing at that.
That's my boy there.
Yeah, he's pretty good to play. He's a good defender, good 3-point shooter. I keep up with everything because I do all the sports betting too, kind of like you, Lou. But I had I was gonna ask you about the first question I had is about the draft. What you think about the Falcons finally getting smart and drafting a player that was 50 miles down the road?
Yeah. Now I'm not a Falcons fan, but I live in Georgia. My family is all Falcons fans. I'm surrounded by Falcons fans, so like I know the whole backstory about Falcons fans getting mad because they don't ever draft a Georgia player and all this kind of thing. So I was happy for those people that they're going to have to find something else to complain about now. But look, the Falcons, the Raiders, and the Cleveland Browns are the 3 worst drafting franchises in the history of football. So shout out to the Falcons. I think they got a good one in Jalen Walker, and I'm happy that, for the fans of Georgia and Atlanta that they drafted a Georgia player. But it's they're allergic to their own success. Like, they make a great pick. And it's not that I don't like James Pierce, but like Atlanta's got several major needs. So they draft an outside edge rusher. Great. They then trade back up into the first round and draft another one 5 spots later. I just thought that was like the most Falcons thing ever to do. Like, I don't know. I didn't like that. Take somebody at a different position is what I would have done there. Or definitely don't trade up into the first round, give picks away to take a player at the same position you just picked 5 picks ago. So I didn't like that. Just like I like the Cleveland Browns drafting Dillon Gabriel and Shador Sanders. Forget the whole Shedeur dropping and whether he's better than Dillon Gabriel or whether he should have gone in the first or the second. Forget all that. Why the hell are you drafting 2 likely backups? I don't understand that. I don't get that
Yeah,
at
they
all.
don't. Yeah, they don't know. Cleveland don't know. You hit it right on the head. Atlanta Falcons are just not a very smart organization at
No.
all.
Mm-mm.
Even with the thing they did last year, you signed Kirk Cousins to $200 million, and
Yeah.
then you draft a quarterback.
Right.
That didn't make a lot of sense at
Right.
all.
It's like
But
either one of those moves by themselves, I can make sense of. Okay, you need a QB, bring in Kirk Cousins. Okay, you need a QB, draft Michael Penix. But you did both in a
Right.
60-day period. Like, what are you doing? And now here they go. They draft 2 players that play the same position, 5 picks apart in the first round. I'm just like, man, come on, man. Come on.
yeah, I didn't get that. But I watched the draft. The draft was quite interesting, though. I was happy to see a lot of my Buckeyes. The Buckeyes dominated the draft this year, finally.
Yeah,
And,
14 players drafted from Ohio State. Yeah, more than any other team. Yeah.
yeah, my boy Emeka went to Tampa Bay, I was excited about that. He'll fit in good
Yeah.
with Mike Evans down there. But my next question though, Lou, well, I just kind of wanted to touch on it. A lot of people talking about my Buckeyes versus Texas opening game, but I think that would probably be a good game. Texas it might beat us though. Texas might have the upper advantage because we're going to be good on offense, but our defense, I don't know what our defense will look like. But that's not what I wanted to say. What I wanted to say is probably the game of the day. Probably there is probably going to be down there with Pigskin Pete and with Clemson and LSU. That'd probably be. I think that game. I think both games would be good, but I think that's probably the number 1 game on the slate because I think both of those teams are about evenly matched. I don't know. What's your take on the Clemson LSU?
I think it's going to be a great game. I mean, you've got a couple of competing storylines there. Dabo Swinney has lost 3 straight to the SEC. LSU has not won a week 1 game since 2019. So, like, one of those streaks has to come to an end. Then you've got the whole Death Valley versus Death Valley. Who's the real Death Valley? We're the real Death Valley. You got that whole thing going. And it's 2 top 10 teams, most likely. I think Clemson's a top 10 team for sure. I think LSU has potential to be a top 10 team. Two of the in a year, and you know this, Wayne, you're an Ohio State fan, in a year where a lot of the top teams are starting brand new quarterbacks, these are 2 top teams with returning quarterbacks that are 2 of the best in the country in Cade Klubnik and Nussmeier. So I agree with you. I think that will be a great game. I still think Texas, Ohio State is going to suck more oxygen out of the room just because it's 2 bigger names, 2 bigger brands. Ohio State's the defending national champion. Texas made a run in the playoffs last year. So I think that'll get more attention. I think that'll be the game day game and the big noon kickoff game, and everybody will be there. But that Clemson LSU game, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a great game. And I tend to lean towards both the home teams in both of those games, to be honest with you. Clemson and Ohio State.
I sure hope our Buckeyes win. I was mentioning that LSU Clemson game though, because I keep thinking about LSU paid Brian Kelly a lot of money, and I think he's lost every opening game. He hasn't won an opening game yet.
Right? Yeah, he's 0-3 in week 1 games, and LSU going back to before Brian Kelly has not won a week 1 game since 2019. They lost in 2020, they lost in 2021. Then they hired Brian Kelly, and Brian Kelly lost in 22, 23, and 24. So they've lost 5 straight. Brian Kelly's lost 3 of the 5, but LSU's lost 5 straight week 1 games.
Yeah, because I'm not saying that Brian Kelly's a bad coach. I think he's a pretty good coach, but I don't know what his luck is with. I don't know if he's cursed with opening games. Kind of like Ryan Day with Michigan. Like Ryan Day could probably beat anybody as long as they ain't named Michigan.
Yeah.
Just for I love my Buckeyes, and most people know that. But for all the other Buckeye fans out there, I think Vegas got it right. I think we probably end up the regular season right at 10-2. With I know one of the losses probably be at Michigan because somehow or another Ryan Day just seems to choke every time. Like I wouldn't bet on Ohio State to beat Michigan no time until he prove he can do it, because I don't think it's gonna happen.
Let me ask you this while I have you on, because you're one of those rare fans that I can get to actually like talk truthfully about their team. I don't follow recruiting on like a player by player basis. I tend to just follow it like, okay, these teams are recruiting in the top 5. These teams are recruiting outside the top 25, whatever. So Ohio State loses 2 NFL running backs. I didn't watch every snap of Ohio State last year, but Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson were obviously the 2 workhorses there. Who do they have? Who do they have there? And what type of potential do they? Are they 5 stars that the rest of the country just hasn't heard about yet? Is there a concern at running back? Like, what's going on there?
It's no concern at running back. We got a guy we recruited last year, James Peoples. He was the 3rd string back, but he's 5-star. I think Peoples is from Texas.
Okay.
I think he's down from San Antonio area. Sam Williams Dixon went in the portal, but he came back. But we got James People as starting running back, and then we got the transfer from West Virginia, C.J. Donaldson.
Yeah.
And so those 2 are going to be the top running backs.
Yeah.
And then more than likely, I was just going to say more than likely, Julian Sand is probably going to be the quarterback, and King Holtz they'll have some packages from him. King Holtz is a little bit more athletic. You know, King Holtz is Mr. South Dakota, Mr. North Dakota, whatever. King Holtz ain't worth nothing though, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Got in the game, looked like crazy. He looked crazy. Looks like he never took a snap when we played Missouri a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But
I mean, obviously y'all are still loaded with, a bunch of NFL wide receivers, but everybody knows no matter how good your quarterback and wide receivers are, if you're able to run the ball, that makes it that much easier than to throw the ball. So
one last thing I'll say this about my Buckeyes, Lou. We're going to be, offense is not going to be our issue. We're good on offense. Even if our top 3 receivers, Ennis, Tate, and Jeremiah, we got the best receiver duo in the country, but we got 2 other receivers that's nobody ever heard of, and these guys are really good. Look up the name Mylan Graham and Quincy Porter. And so if something happened and 2 of our receivers go down, we got 2 others just ready to step in, and we won't miss a beat. Our problem is going to be on defense, our defensive line. That's our only issue is our defensive line.
Well, you got my boy from North Carolina, didn't you?
Yeah, so we've been doing good in the portal, in the spring portal. We got a guy from North Carolina, and it's a couple other guys that they've been looking at. I think a defensive tackle from Oklahoma State supposed to be interested. But again, I'm a very realistic fan. My Buckeyes will probably go about 10-2, but we will make the playoff though.
I mean,
but we'll probably be right at 10-2 though.
I'm old enough to remember what Ohio State's defense looked like pre-Jim Knowles, so cause for concern.
It was horrible. It was horrible.
Concern there because he's in Happy Valley. Yeah. He went to Penn State. So,
but what's helping our defense? We have the best defensive player in football, Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
that helps out. But our defensive line, we got to be able to put pressure on the quarterback and stop the run. So I don't know. Our defensive line is just not. Our defensive line is just average at best right now. But maybe they'll get better as the season goes on. We'll see.
I know y'all beat the shit out of Oregon, and you did it in a bunch of different ways. But the defensive line against Oregon in that Rose Bowl made it impossible for Oregon to do anything at all. I mean, y'all didn't have to blitz anybody. Y'all were getting to Dylan Gabriel sending 3, sending 4. That just made it impossible for Oregon offensively.
It was very similar to how Georgia had their D-line when they had Jalen Carter and all them.
Let's not get carried away, bud.
No, that was awesome D-line Georgia had.
Let's not get carried away. Ohio State's D-line was good, but let's keep it in the realm of reality here when it comes to the comparisons, my man.
Yeah, Jalen Carter, he's been unstoppable in the NFL too, though.
Yeah.
He's been but man. So the running back situation, just James Peoples and C.J. Donaldson is what I can tell you.
All right.
The third back, I have no clue. Maybe Sam Williams Dixon, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Wayne.
But man, it's great to hear from you, Lou. Man,
yeah,
I
you too,
appreciate
man.
I'll be tripping out on some of your stuff you be saying.
Thanks for calling in, Wayne. All right, buddy.
Yep.
Take it easy, man. We'll talk to you next time. That's our buddy Wayne, the Ohio State man, a reasonable Ohio State man, which I always appreciate because those are a rare breed. You know who I should have mentioned when Tiddlywinks called in earlier asking me about late round draft picks who might have an impact or whatever? Did I say Tiddlywinks? I meant Jarrett. I don't even think this guy got drafted. And he was one of my favorite players in all of college football the last 2 years. Wide receiver, kind of a slot guy. Xavier Restrepo. This guy's like the Mexican lad McConkey. How did he not get drafted? Now, he got picked up immediately by the Titans. And I wouldn't be surprised if he makes the team. The Titans, of course, drafted Cam Ward, and he's expected to be the starter. Cam Ward and Restrepo obviously worked together all last year and had an amazing chemistry. If you watched any Miami games, Restrepo was uncoverable. And I guess maybe he's a little under. He doesn't check the combine boxes, would be my guess on Restrepo. He's not as tall as the NFL wants you to be. He's not as fast as the NFL wants you to be. He doesn't run the precise routes that the NFL wants you to run. He didn't do the cone drill fast enough. That would be my guess on why Restrepo wasn't drafted. But sometimes people are just playmakers. Look, there are some players who are gold medalists at the Underwear Olympics, the Combine. Anthony Richardson, right? But they can't fucking play football, which is the end goal. There's some people that's the opposite. They're not going to blow you away in some kind of a field day competition, which is what the Combine is. But watch the guy play football. The guy can play. So I wouldn't be surprised if he makes the 53-man roster with the Titans and see what him and Cam Ward can do offensively up there. But anyway, let's get back to the phone calls and that. Good morning, but you're on with Uncle Lou, though?
Morning, Uncle Lou. How's
yes.
it going?
Good morning. It's going good.
So something that I've got to get off my chest is, as a South Carolina fan, I'm really sick and tired of all these dummy Clemson fans saying, congrats on y'all Super Bowl. Congrats on y'all Super Bowl. Like, they didn't act the same.
Yeah, that is becoming one of those, like, overused things, like, I don't know. Certain things pop up every once in a while, and then they get used so much, they become annoying. Like Cope. Cope was one, you know?
Right,
like,
that's one.
There was a while, there was a period of time where no matter what you said, somebody would go, that's Cope. And it just got to be
one
like,
of them.
what are you talking about? And now, the Super Bowl thing, and I'm guilty of it too. I've done it too.
I have too, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
Well, you're a South Carolina fan. Y'all have done it to Tennessee before. Tennessee, South Carolina was Tennessee's Super Bowl there for a while. But I agree. It does get overused. Cope, seethe, all that shit. I'm like, come on, what are we doing?
But it's just like, I mean, they literally acted.
All this guy does is talk about Florida. Florida lives rent-free.
That's another one, rent-free.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of using that one too, I'll admit. But no, I was going to say, they literally acted the same way the year before. They acted like they won the Super Bowl when they beat us the year before. So it's kind of hypocritical, if anything.
And look, the reality is, rivalry games, I mean, if that's, that's not a quote-unquote Super Bowl, like, that's really not even a insult. Like, I get it, it's not a playoff game, but in terms of regular season games, your main rival is the biggest game.
Right. So, you want to beat your rival more than anyone else.
It kind of is the Super Bowl. You know? I mean, I don't get it either.
They drive me nuts when it comes to this kind of stuff. Oh, not to mention, they clown us constantly about the whole moral victory thing and go, oh, South Carolina fans always claiming moral victories. But then they talked about in 2022, they're just all like, oh, South Carolina only beat us by 1 point. And they overreacted. I'm all like, y'all literally clown us for claiming moral victories. And now y'all are going to brag about losing by 1 point.
Right. Yeah.
It's hypocritical. It's hypocritical. They're the most hypocritical fan base on the planet. I'm sick and tired of those goat humping, overall wearing, fingering buttholes and all that kind of messed up shit they do up there in the upstate.
Fingering buttholes. I remember that. That's a real thing, right? In a game or something, a player, there's a video or still photo.
It happened multiple times.
Yeah, I remember that.
It happened multiple times. I mean, and now they're saying, oh, you only beat us by 3 points in 2024. And I'm like, y'all, like I said, y'all are the ones that clown us for moral victories, but now y'all are doing this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously?
I get it.
Anyway, that's all I got to say. I had to get this off my chest. But thank you for letting me.
Yeah, man. Thanks for calling in, Schultz. It was good to hear from you, buddy. Oh, man. All right, nobody's waiting on hold, so if you want to call in and talk some college football, now would be a good time to do it. I'm going to take a 2-minute break. I told you I drank 3 cups of coffee, and it's time to get rid of some of that. I got to pee. So give me 2 minutes. Hit that link if you want to talk some college football when I come back. Give me 2 minutes, and I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. I am back. Everybody can calm down. Time to start behaving again, too. I'm back. Yeah, I know y'all misbehave when I'm gone, but I'm back. So it's time to straighten up. All right, I put a poll up for the Nuggets-Clippers game. If you have an opinion on that game, comes on at 10. Vote in the poll. Who wins, the Nuggets or the Clippers? The series is tied, I believe, at 2 games apiece, right? Yeah, series tied, 2 games apiece. The Nuggets are the home team. The Clippers are favored, though, by 1.5. Who do you think wins, the Clippers or the Nuggets? I'll have to end the poll here in a minute or two because the game starts at 10. And however y'all vote, I will put a bet in on that game. See if we can make some money betting on the basketball in that. My favorite pastime is mistreating Uncle Lou. Well, many have tried. Many have tried. Yeah. So it's a long line you're standing in there. Bud. Oklahoma man. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Lou.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Just sitting here chilling, watching the show.
Sounds good.
It is good, man. It's been a pretty good show.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome. You know, some people just don't understand what it's like to be a fan of a school like Oklahoma.
Mm. Tell us what it's like, bud.
Well, I mean, like when they hear us talk, they don't understand what we're talking about. I mean, did you know who has the most NFL drafts?
You cut out. What'd you say?
Did you know who has the most NFL drafts of any school in the SEC?
Is it Oklahoma?
It is Oklahoma.
You talking about all time?
All time, yeah. Also, you know, like Texas is doing so great now because of the model that they used to build a schedule, which I do understand. They went off like the past 10 years or however many years, and Oklahoma did so much better than Texas did. So we got a harder schedule. I get it. But if you look at the Red River rivalry, you have to go back over 30 years to get to where Texas won 3 years in a row.
Right.
Meanwhile, Oklahoma did it 3 times during that time span. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes we did 4 or 5 in a row. So that's what I'm trying to tell you is that people just don't understand.
Well, no, I mean, I think everybody knows that
where
Oklahoma
fans are
used to
coming
be
from,
good.
you know what I mean?
I think everybody knows that Oklahoma used to be good. Everybody knows they used to be good.
You said, no, man. Oklahoma will be good. Trust me.
Well, maybe. I mean, we don't know that for sure, but we do know that they used to be. And like, I don't think there's anybody that doesn't know that.
Based on past, Oklahoma will be good again.
Yeah, and Miami and Nebraska and Southern Cal and a bunch of other shitty teams.
Did you just say Miami's a blue blood?
No, I didn't even say the word.
Yeah, you did. You said Miami was the first team you said.
I never said the phrase blue blood at all.
I know, but you compared them to Oklahoma, though. So.
I said there's a lot of other teams that used to be good that are shitty now. Miami, Nebraska, Southern Cal, Oklahoma, Florida State. I think everybody is aware that those teams used to be good.
Yep. And also, you were talking about how we only had 2 people drafted this year. And I agree with you. That's pathetic.
It is.
But if you look at it, our 21 class was decimated along with everything else. Our program was decimated when Lincoln Riley did that shit.
Right.
And, we're
that was
still
4 years
trying
ago.
to dig out.
Yeah, that was 4 years ago.
Yep. But still, it has to do with the draft. I mean, the classes,
Right.
Our
Dylan Gabriel was drafted.
Hey, man, if you look at our 21 class, it was pretty good. It had a Heisman winner in it, Hey, and you know what? The people that say that Shedeur is just automatically better than Dylan Gabriel, I don't understand that because they're obviously not looking at the person, Dylan Gabriel is mad football, man. He just lives, breathes, dies football,
Yeah.
And I think that gives him an edge over Shedeur.
It may. The Browns thought it did, for sure. Now,
exactly.
What the Browns think about QBs might not be a check mark in the Dylan Gabriel column because the Browns have been striking out on their quarterback picks for 40 years.
Well, except for the one they didn't keep.
Who?
Baker Mayfield.
He's all right.
But he's better than all right. He's a really good NFL quarterback.
Yeah, but he had to leave Cleveland to become that.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
They didn't keep him.
Right.
Anyway. Hey, man, I just was trying to come and spread some Oklahoma love and some knowledge for, all the people that may not know. And really enjoying the shows. Love talking to you, man.
All right. Thanks for the call, Oklahoma man. Thank you for the call. All right. Let's end the poll and see if I can get a bet in on time. Y'all bet on the Nuggets. All right. Let me see if I can get it in. Basketball, NBA game. Denver Nuggets. Place bet. All right, got the bet in. Denver Nuggets +2. So they don't even have to win the game. They don't even have to win the game for y'all to win. They only have to lose by less than 2, which would be 1. So they can either win the game or lose by 1. There you go. Put the bet in for you. What else is going on? High school graduation coming up. Anybody got any kids graduating from high school, or am I the only one? My daughter graduates in 3.5 weeks. They had a little senior day thing at her school yesterday, handed out yearbooks, announced all where everybody was going to college and all that deal. So reality is starting to set in. I'm going to have a high school graduate. High school graduate. Yeah. Can someone explain to me why the circus of Shedeur is harder to defend than wife beaters, hit and runs, and other criminal activities that NFL teams has gave players slaps on the wrist for? Well, one of the reasons is those players that you're referring to, NFL teams considered them to be better football players than what they consider Shador Sanders to be. That's part of it. Like Antonio, what's the wide receiver's name? It was a knucklehead. The guy was an elite talent. There was no denying it. So teams were willing to look past whatever. They just didn't think Shador Sanders was that good, honestly. Antonio Brown, yeah, that's him. Yeah, teams, if you can play at a really high level and you've proven that, they'll look past almost anything. Look at Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson's still in the league, has a $200 million contract after 30 massage therapists accused him of wanting them to stick their fist up his butthole. And still somebody went out and signed him. Now, keep in mind, it was the Cleveland fucking Browns who, like as previously mentioned, have a 40-year history of doing stupid shit when it comes to quarterbacks. From a purely football point of view, I don't know that Shedor's a first-round talent. And then when you add in the other stuff to that, that's what caused him to drop to the 5th round. I mean, you got Dion going all over TV and the internet and everywhere else saying, I'm not letting my kid play for this team or that team or the other team, and I'm going to pick where he goes, and I know people in the NFL, and I've made calls, and I've done this, and I've done that, and you got the fucking never-ending camera crew that follows it. Do you really think – well, here's the thing. When it comes to backup quarterbacks in the NFL teams want somebody that's out of sight, out of mind. You mentioned character problems or legal issues. NFL teams will put up with that from a starter. They are not willing to put up with that from backups, particularly the backup quarterback. They don't want that. They just don't. And you got a camera crew following Shador Sanders around 24 hours a day. The whole legendary shit that he won't let go. There's a lot of extra shit that comes with Shador Sanders. If he was some type of generational talent, despite all that other shit, somebody would have taken him in the 1st round anyway. But not a single team in the NFL considered his talent to be at that level. Now, he's got an opportunity to prove them wrong, just like Tom Brady proved them wrong about his talent and whatever else. But I saw a thing today on Twitter. I don't know if this is true or not. It was from a large NFL account. But there's this talking point out there that, it doesn't matter what round you're drafted in. That quarterbacks all over the NFL that were drafted in the 4th and 5th round and all that. Apparently that's not true. There's only 3 starting quarterbacks in the NFL who weren't drafted in one of the first 3 rounds or something like that. I mean, so Shedor's fighting an uphill battle, but if you're going to go into camp as a fourth string quarterback, the Cleveland Browns quarterback room is probably the room you want to be in terms of having an ability to potentially pass the other three guys and become the starter. Because the Cleveland Browns quarterback room is an absolute disaster. An absolute disaster. There's been talk that Tom Brady had something to do with the Sanders situation. Well, Tom Brady is part owner of the Raiders, so maybe Tom Brady might have something to do with the Raiders not drafting him. Just like any owner from any team would have input into who gets drafted. Somebody brought up a stupid rumor saying Tom Brady hurt Shador Sanders' draft stock. Well, Tom Brady wouldn't have any say-so with any team other than the Raiders. That's it. He's part owner of the Raiders. So that's no different than Arthur Blank having input on who the Falcons would draft. There is no grand conspiracy in the NFL to not draft Shedeur. That's the most ridiculous. That's even more ridiculous than the racism conspiracy theory. Both of those conspiracy theories are retarded. That Shedeur was drafted in the 5th round because of racism, or that Shedeur was drafted in the 5th round because there was a league-wide conspiracy theory of collusion to keep him out of the league. Both of those things are room temperature IQ level retarded. In my opinion. Yeah. I think Shedeur and Dion thought Shador Sanders was more talented than the NFL thought he was, and they overplayed their hand. They were dismissive in team interviews. They turned down certain team interviews. He refused to participate in the combine. He refused to participate in the Senior Bowl. He has the interview he did at the combine where it just comes across as cocky and arrogant, and just, I just don't think it was a good look. But if he's got NFL starting quarterback talent, he'll become a starting quarterback in the NFL at Cleveland, because it's not like they have some kind of all-time great quarterback room. The Cleveland's quarterback room is a disaster. There's racism everywhere. Oh, I know. Believe me. In the video I made about Shador Sanders the other day, there's a black guy in there calling me a Trump-loving January 6er. So I agree. There is racism everywhere. Shannon Sharp. I don't know what really happened. So there's two sides to every story. This one's no different. If what the woman is saying is true, and she was physically or sexually assaulted against her will by Shannon Sharp, then obviously that's completely fucking wrong, and Shannon Sharp should be held accountable for that. If she's making it up to try to extort money from Shannon Sharp, then she should be held accountable for that. In either case, though, Shannon Sharp made a stupid decision, I think, to get involved with this particular person and allow some of what he allowed to happen, even if it was consensual, even if it was role playing and she was into the choking and whatever else it was they were into. Letting her record conversations and video it like that, I think was a mistake on his part. Honestly, and we talked about this. This is something else we talked about on the morning show this morning, because it's the same thing with Bill Belichick. I don't understand these old fucks messing around with these 18, 19, and 20-year-old girls. And that's what they are, they're girls, not even women. I don't get it. I don't understand. I really don't. to the point where they're getting in a involved extended relationship with him. I don't understand I don't understand the appeal of that. I'm nowhere near Bill Belichick's age. How old is Shannon Sharp? I don't even know. Is he 50? So he's, I'm closer to Shannon Sharp's age, but I'm nowhere near Bill Belichick's age. But even at 40, he's 56, 57. Okay, so he's 10 years older than me. I'm 46. There is a 0% chance that there is any 18, 19, 20, 22, 23-year-old girl anywhere on this planet that I'm interested in getting into some sort of long-term relationship with. None. I mean, I don't care what they look like. I don't care what they do for a living. I've got zero interest in that. I don't get it. I guess if you're Bill Belichick and you're 80 and you're a billionaire, or you're Shannon Sharp and you're 57 and you're a multimillionaire, and you want to have sex with some 20-year-old because you've got a bunch of money, I guess. But there's a difference between that and getting in an involved relationship, an involved long-term relationship with somebody that's 18, 19, 20 years old. They don't even know what they're doing at that age. I mean, come on. I'm 46, but I remember what it was like to be 18, 19, and 20. These girls don't even know what they're doing. It's not like this is some mind-blowing sex they're having with an 18 or 19-year-old. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. So I don't know. And the Bill Belichick situation might even be worse, because this is just my opinion. So sue me. They can sue me, I guess. It's my opinion. And I don't know if this is true. I don't have any proof of this. It's just my opinion. I'm not accusing this. It's just my own opinion that the Bill Belichick thing is a sugar daddy, sugar baby type of thing. They might have met online or something like that. I don't know. That thing is really weird, and it's going to end up blowing up in North Carolina's face. She is involved way too much in everything he does, from interviews to sitting in the fucking team office with him at North Carolina. It's fucking weird. She's involved in who he hires and doesn't hire. There's this whole thing that came out where she's mad at the North Carolina Twitter account. It's just fucking weird. It's just fucking weird. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. So, I mean, I get that there is a legal age of consent, but there ain't a whole lot of difference between a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old. Like, the idea that you can be a 60-year-old man and legally sleep with an 18-year-old, that might be legally acceptable. I don't think it's morally acceptable. I mean, you might, if you're sleeping with if you're 60 years old and you're sleeping with an 18-year-old, what are you doing? You might as well, I mean, what that tells me is that if it was legal, they'd sleep with a 15-year-old. Where's the cutoff? Is it really just, well, I don't want to go to jail, so I'm going to sleep with this 18-year-old, but not this 16-year-old? Like, if the threat of jail is the only reason that at the age of 50, 60, or 70, you're not sleeping with a 16-year-old, then you're more fucked up than a soup sandwich, if you feel that way. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. I mean, like I mentioned, my daughter graduating high school. Okay, so she's 17. She'll turn 18 next month. Okay, so when she's like, do you think I'm going to be, if there was some 35-year-old guy that wanted to date my daughter right now, my daughter's 17, I'd kill him. Are you telling me that I should have no problem if he just waits 3 weeks? Then the 40-year-old man can date my 18-year-old daughter, and I'm supposed to be okay with that? But if my daughter is 17, I should kill him or have him thrown in jail? I'm killing him or having him thrown in jail either way. It's just fucking weird. So, so whatever. Now, I say all that, and I'll get back to where I started. If what Shannon Sharpe is saying is true, and this girl is just basically extorting him for money and is making all this shit up, then she should be fucking thrown in jail. These women that accuse men of rape or sexual assault, and it ends up being proven false, those women should face the same punishment that the man would have faced had he got found guilty. Because you can ruin a man's life simply by accusing him. In today's age, you can ruin a man's life simply by accusing them of sexual assault or rape. So in the rare instances where it's actually proven that the woman fucking lied and made it up, which is hard to do, it's hard to prove something didn't happen. Which is why when you go to court in this country, the prosecution has to prove that something did. In other words, the defendant never has to prove he didn't do it. The prosecution has to prove that you did do it. It's hard to prove something didn't happen. But in the rare instances where it is proven that a woman made up something like that, the woman should be thrown in jail for the same amount of time that the man would have got had he got found guilty of that assault or that rape or that whatever it was. Because you can ruin a man's life. In a lot of cases, these men have families or wives of their own or kids or whatever. You're ruining all their lives. It's a fucking problem. It's a big fucking problem. Now, rape and sexual assault is a big problem too, and I'm not minimizing that. I've got no sympathy for someone that would assault a woman physically, sexually, in any type of violent way at all. I don't. You should never lay your hands on a woman for any reason that she doesn't want you to. Period. I don't care what they do. If a woman walked up to me and punched me in the face, I'd turn around and run the other direction. Not necessarily because I was afraid, but because I don't believe I should even retaliate against a woman. So I've got no sympathy for that. So if you're doing something like that, you deserve the worst the law has to offer. But to these women that are making that shit up, you are ruining people's lives. And in a lot of cases, not enough ends up happening to those women. In my opinion. So I'll get off my social high horse there, but I mean, that's just how I feel about that. That's just how I feel about that. So, also in addition to that, too, and as well. Okay, good, great. It's amazing. See what the fuck's going on here. We need the Dodgers to win. We need the Giants to win. And we need the Nuggets to win. Can those things happen? Can those things happen? Don't know. Don't know. Uncle Lou, you are a shining bright light in the dark. No, look, I'm nobody's moral compass. I'm not sitting up here trying to be the morality police. Believe me, I've got a whole, I've got my own problems and issues. I'm not throwing stones, or I'm speaking in generalizations here. I feel like I've given Shannon Sharpe and the accuser, I'm giving them each the benefit of the doubt because I don't know what the fuck happened. I'm just stating my general opinion on if one thing happened or if the other thing happened. But I'm no kind of beacon of moral superiority. Believe me, I'm in no position to do anything like that. But I mean, it should be generally understood that you shouldn't be hitting women. I mean, I think most people can just agree on that. Is a 19-year-old more accepting to date a 16-year-old regarding the Shannon case? You mean, what do I think about a 19-year-old dating a 16-year-old? I don't think a 19-year-old dating a 16-year-old is necessarily a sign of the 19-year-old being a pedophile or having some type of sickness. However, there is no circumstances under which I would allow my 16-year-old daughter to date a 19-year-old boy. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't think that 3 years is a huge age gap. Obviously, the older you get, the less 3 years would matter. So I'm not even talking about the legal ramifications of a 19-year-old dating a 16-year-old. I'm talking more from my moral thought process on it. I wouldn't necessarily classify a 19-year-old who is dating a 16-year-old as a pedophile. I don't really know where the magic cutoff age-wise is. What if you're 25 and dating a 16-year-old? Well, that you're skating towards the pedophile ice at that point, you know. But 19, you know. Now, if you're 22 and you are still dating a 16-year-old, like, you might have a problem. But I wouldn't allow my 16-year-old daughter to date a 19-year-old boy. No. No, I don't have a 16-year-old daughter. My daughter actually dates a boy 1 year younger. So my daughter is 17. Her boyfriend is 16. I've never had that issue with my daughter. There's never been a situation where I thought my daughter's boyfriend might be too old for her. So, and now she'll be 18 in a month. So if for some reason she were to start dating a 20-year-old or a 21-year-old, I might not like it, but there wouldn't be a whole lot I could do about it at that point. I'm about to be 44. My wife is 34. My old ass is struggling to even stay up past 9 p.m. Yeah. Now, if you tell me, so that's 10 years age difference. Now, if you tell me you met when you were 34 and she was 24, that's one thing. If you tell me you met when you were 24 and she was 14, then that's something different altogether. It's not college football talk, sir. Well, feel free to click off. If you want me to help you, let me know. Worked with a guy who molested his stepdaughter from the time she was 5 to 13. He's in prison for life. Well, that's where he belongs. That's where he belongs. What do you think about these young female teachers screwing these young boys? I think they should be given the same treatment and looked at the same way that we would look at it if it was a male teacher and a female student. The double standard is a problem. LOL, he mad. Yeah, I'm irate. I'm shaking mad. Uncle Lou, my wife and I met you in Colombia. Yes, that is true. Remember that. No, your wife can't beat Nate in a... No, Mike, no. Nate has the strength of 8 men, buddy. I'm telling you. No. Mike, I don't think you can beat Nate in an arm wrestling contest. Don't put your wife in that position. You're 29, your girl is 20. Yeah, that's... How long have you known her? How old was she when you met her? I mean, that's borderline there. Yeah, I think you're going to lose that bet, Mike. I think you're going to lose that bet. Yeah, that's a little suspect to me. If you were 27 and started dating an 18-year-old, I mean, legally there's nothing that can be done about it, but that's fucking creepy to me. I mean, there's 18-year-olds in high school. You're a 27-year-old man. Motley Dog, what's up, buddy? Good to see you in here. What is the Slob Olympics? Every year in March, a bunch of us get together. There's usually about 100 people that show up from across the college football community on YouTube. And it's really just an excuse for everybody to get together one weekend a year and hang out. We do it the first or second weekend in March. We're doing it the second weekend this year. Where is it? There you go. And then the Saturday that we're all there, we hold a series of events called the Slob Olympics, usually 10 events. 5 of them are physical events, 5 of them are mental events. So we do everything from, how many push-ups can you do in a minute to obstacle courses. We've done spelling bees. We've taken IQ tests, trivia challenges. We've ran the 40-yard dash, shit like that. Has Carolina Jackpot ever won? No. There's been 5 Slob Olympics. The winners were Big Dog Brett the first year, Gold and Blue Dude the second year, Big Dog Brett the third year, me. I won the 4th year, I guess. I don't think who else won. Big Dog Brett has won. Golden Blue Dude has won. Well, Big Dog Brett has won twice. Golden Blue Dude won once. I won once. This most recent Slob Olympics, we did a cruise, and we didn't really have time to do 10 events, so we actually did a team competition. So there was 2 teams. Team Lou, so I had a team, and Team Pete. And Pete had a team, and it was a team competition, and Team Pete won this year's the Slob Olympics we just had in March. We did a cruise. Yeah, the cruise was a lot of fun. We had we normally have about 100 people show up when we do the Slob Olympics, and I'm talking that's the YouTubers that like me, Pigskin Pete, Carolina Jackpot is a bunch of them. But people bring their wives, girlfriends, kids. We've had people bring their grandparents, aunts, uncles. So it's a lot of people that viewers, just people from the comment section. But we usually have about 100 or so that show up every year. This was the 5th year anniversary, so we decided to do something a little bigger, which is why we did the cruise. And that cut down on the number of people that went. So we had between 30 and 40 people probably went on the cruise. You can't make me feel bad. She is grown. Well, yeah, obviously, you obviously can't be made to feel bad. You obviously don't care what people think. You're 27 years old and you were dating an 18-year-old. By nature, that shows that you don't care what people think. Just by definition alone. But it's weird and fucking creepy. I'm 22, still in college. My girlfriend is 24 and is now a practicing lawyer. We've been together for 8 years. I believe I got lucky. What happened with the Jingle Bells thing you tried to put together 2 Christmases ago? It was a great idea, but it became too much work to do remotely at a distance. In other words, if I could have had everybody here to record them singing or something would have been one thing, but to try to have everybody sing the songs individually and then mix it into one song was just too time consuming, so I didn't do it. But it was a great idea, though. You know what I should do is, even though it's a Christmas thing, when we all get together for Slob Olympics, I should just get everybody. I should get them all together and have them sing it there, and then just put it out the following Christmas. Maybe that would work. You're the one that said you're 27 and your girl is 18. So whether you call that dating or whatever you call it, I don't know what you call it, but you're the one that typed in the comment section, I'm 27 and my girl is 18. I'm just telling you that's fucking weird. If you don't feel bad about it and you don't care what people think, then why are you typing a bunch of shit in the comment section that makes it seem like you do care what people think? Stop defending yourself if you don't care what people think. Anybody got any summer trips coming up? Hey, what's up, Mike? Thanks for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate that. Always good to see you in here. Missed a couple of super chats from earlier. Let's get to those now, too. Sorry about that. I hope these people are still here. Streak Teak, thank you for the super chat. He says, top 3 SEC QBs, Nussmeier, Sellers, Pavia. Well, now, when you talk about returning starting QBs versus like just it's hard to rank quarterbacks who aren't returning starters. But like take Arch Manning at Texas. I think if we were to rank quarterbacks at the end of the season, we're probably going to have Arch Manning somewhere in the top 3 or 4. I think he's going to have a really good year at Texas. But because he's not a returning starter, it's hard to rank him now ahead of these guys who are returning starters. I think Nussmeier and Sellers for sure. You look around the SEC, there's a lot of new starters. And then you got to figure out how you want to classify DJ Lagway. He started about half the season. I think he started 6 games. So where would you put him in comparison to those 3? But when you look around the league, there's a lot of new starters at quarterback. Georgia, new starter at quarterback. Tennessee, new starter at quarterback. Bama, Auburn. Ole Miss, Texas. So you got a lot of new starters, an unusually high amount of first-year starters in the SEC this season. So whereas you normally might rank the quarterbacks heading into the season, you might have 8 or 9 returning starters at quarterback. This year you just don't have very many. It makes it harder to rank them. You know, it's the same thing when I do my coaching rankings every year, which is coming up in about a week, by the way. But it's the same. When I do my coaching rankings, I don't even rank first-year coaches that haven't coached yet within the Power 5. So, like last year, I didn't have Cignetti ranked, the coach at Indiana. Now, I know he had coached before, but it was lower level, and he was moving into the Power 5. So it just makes it hard to rank those guys because you don't have any Power 4 to go off of. And it's the same kind of with quarterbacks. Now, I can give you my opinions on Arch Manning. I think he's going to be really good. And like I said, at the end of the year, if we rank SEC quarterbacks, I think Arch Manning is probably going to be in everybody's top 2 or 3. I think he's going to have a really good year. You take Tennessee's new quarterback or Georgia's new quarterback, a lot more question about that. I'm not convinced that Gunnar Stockton will be a top 3, 4, 5 quarterback in the SEC. I'm not convinced that whatever dead weight Tennessee plays at quarterback will be a top 3, 4, 5 quarterback in the SEC. I don't know. I'm more confident, in my opinion, of Arch Manning because I've seen him do some stuff in the SEC already. Could Michigan lose to Oklahoma? They could. Yeah, they could. I don't know. I don't know if I would pick them to lose, but I don't think it's like it's not like an Alabama-Florida State thing. Like, no one's going to pick Florida State to win that game. Could Florida State win? Anything's possible, but like, if you poll any 100 random people about the Florida State-Alabama game, 95 of them are going to take Alabama to win. With the Michigan-Oklahoma deal, you poll 100 random college football fans, I think it would be closer to 50-50 than like the Florida State-Alabama deal. So I think they have a chance, yeah. I'm picking FSU to win, but that's because I'm an FSU fan. Michigan could lose to Oklahoma, but it's not that likely. Is Tennessee in panic mode after the spring portal? They should be. They should be. Yep, Andy Staples also has Florida ranked in the top 10, so I would be extremely leery of Andy Staples' top 25. Extremely leery. Are you going to Panama City? We had the Slob Olympics in Panama City a couple of years ago. Yeah, that's a fun place. That's a fun place. Anybody else say where they had some trips coming up or vacations coming up? I'm going to New York at the end of the month for 3 or 4 days. And Vegas in July. Is Frank Beamer pulled for Virginia Tech or his son? I would say his son. New York is full of rats. I've been in New York a dozen times. I've never seen a single rat. How many times you been? I'm going to go out on a limb and say 0. only been on one vacation in your lifetime. Where'd you go? Lou is just mad at Carson Beck for dipping out on home. Lou hasn't said one word about Carson Beck. Hasn't even come up. I don't blame Carson Beck for leaving Georgia. He would have had to take a massive pay cut to stay at Georgia. I think Carson Beck's better than Gunnar Stockton. I don't know what angle you're taking showing up with that comment about Carson. I haven't said anything today about Carson Beck, but what I have said about Carson Beck this offseason hasn't changed. He's better than Gunnar Stockton, and I would rather Georgia had Carson Beck than Gunnar Stockton for this year. But it wasn't really anybody's fault that we lost him. I mean, we couldn't afford to keep him. After he declared for the NFL draft, Georgia spent all the money they were paying him on portal wide receivers. They didn't have the money to keep him once he changed his mind. So if Carson Beck would have stayed at Georgia, he would have had to do it for a lot less money. So I don't blame Carson Beck for leaving. I don't blame Georgia for, quote unquote, letting him go. It was just, I don't know why Carson Beck changed. Well, I assume I know why Carson Beck changed his mind about the draft. He must not have got the feedback that he wanted from the NFL, so he decided to come back for a year. But, I mean, I think he'll put up video game numbers at Miami. I guess you just came in here and typed that because you're a Miami fan and I'm a Georgia fan, and you don't have any fucking clue what you're talking about. But other than that, I don't really know what you're getting at with that comment about Carson Beck. I'm not mad that he left, but I do wish we still had him. You know, I mean, he declared for the draft. Georgia needed wide receivers, so they went out and bought a bunch of wide receivers and whatever else out of the portal. And then when Beck changed his mind, they didn't have the NIL money left to pay him. So I really don't blame either party. I mean, Georgia made the right decision. Once Beck declared for the portal, they had to decide, okay, what direction are we going to go in for next year? All right, we're going to play Gunnar Stockton. We've got the worst wide receiver room on the planet. We got to go out and buy some wide receivers. So they took the whatever, $2, $3, $4 million, whatever it was that they were paying Carson Beck, and they diverted that to portal players. And then whatever it was, a month later or whatever, Carson Beck changed his mind, took his name out of the NFL draft, and Georgia didn't have the money to pay him, so he entered the portal. I don't really blame either one. I bet Shedeur cost himself $2 or $3 million. But he doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the money. He's got plenty of money. Oh yeah, calling the bookstores, that was fun. Was that during COVID, or I don't remember when that was, 4 or 5 years ago, but yeah, that was fun. All the information you need is on the screen. The Slob Olympics are in Nashville, Tennessee, March 13 through 15. Just as long as you stay tuned in to some of these college football channels, mine, Pete's, Carolina Jackpot, Rec Talk, CDAW, whatever. We don't talk much about the Slob Olympics once the season starts. And then as soon as the season ends, middle of January, we start talking about it a lot. The end of January and all of February leading up to the Slob Olympics in March. The gorilla. Yeah, the gorilla for sure. The gorilla for sure. Yeah, Bad Bitch Fuel on Sundays. They talk about the Slav Olympics a lot, too. Memphis is nice. A lot of guns. Or there's a lot of guns everywhere. Slav Olympics are a gimmick. Oh, yeah, totally. 100%. No, there's no doubt about it. You're 0 for 2 on the trolls today, bud. But, yeah, Slav Olympics is a gimmick, 100%. It's a bunch of 40 and 50-year-old people playing paper, rock, scissors, and seeing how many push-ups they can do. It's 100% a gimmick. Memphis has a lot of guns. Every city in the country has a lot of guns. There's more guns in this country than there are people. No, I'm not low on LSU. I don't know if I'm quite as high as the highest predictions on LSU. I think LSU could be last year's Bama, Ole Miss, South Carolina. Not a 9-win team, and I think they could get to 10 and get in the playoffs. I think they're going to be on that fringe playoff deal. And it's going to come down to, a game or two here or there, whether or not they go, 8-4, 9-3, or 10-2 and get in the playoffs, They're going to have to hit on a lot of those portal pieces, but if they do hit on a lot of those portal pieces, then I think they can go 10-2 or better. But I think they could be a playoff team if they hit on enough of those portal pieces. Will Lane Kiffin make it to the playoffs? I don't think this year. No, I think Ole Miss I think Ole Miss and Tennessee take a step back this year. Georgia could potentially take a step back. I think Auburn improves. I'm not talking playoffs. I just mean record year over year. Like Auburn improves. I think Texas A&M is a team to keep an eye on. I think Texas gets in the playoffs again. I think Alabama is a bubble team again. I think South Carolina is a bubble team again that could potentially get in. Tennessee, I think, takes a step back. Did I say that? I think Mississippi State and Kentucky are going to be absolutely terrible again. I think Arkansas is going to be slightly above terrible. I think Oklahoma might be a better team than they were last year, but I don't know if their record will be much better because it's just got a brutal schedule. Same with Florida. They might, if Lagway can stay healthy, they might be a little bit better than they were last year, but I don't know if their record will be much better. Well, with Auburn, it all comes down to the quarterback. If they get B+ or better quarterback play, I think Auburn could win 8 games. If they don't get B+ quarterback play, they might not make a bowl game again. I mean, it's that big of a deal with a Hugh Freeze offense. It just comes down to the quarterback. They've got talent on defense. They've got talent on the outside at wide receiver. Their lines of scrimmage are okay. But they are taking a massive roll of the dice at the quarterback position. The turnovers and poor quarterback play was the death of Auburn last year, and they went out and got the most turnover-prone quarterback in the portal in Jackson Arnold to come play quarterback. So if it doesn't work, Hugh Freeze could be out of a job. If it does work, they could win eight or more games. SEC in 2025. I don't know what that. I don't know what that emoji is, so I don't know what that means. You're not having much luck with the trolling. You might want to log off, try again tomorrow or something. But SEC in 25, and then an arrow, and then 3. I can't even tell what. 3 girl emojis. I don't know what that means. You're not having much luck with your trolling today. Hey, Lou, if a player in the SEC transfers to the ACC, spring portal opens, can they then transfer to another SEC school since they can't go from SEC to SEC directly? Yes. If you go from the SEC to the ACC in the winter portal, go through spring practice, and then re-enter the portal, yes, you can go back to the SEC. The only time you can't transfer SEC to SEC is if you enter the spring portal from an SEC school. Yeah, Beck could have transferred to Tennessee if he wanted to, but he didn't even enter the portal. Not in the spring. But he could have, yeah. And that rule will go away as soon as somebody sues the SEC. The SEC will lose a court case as soon as somebody sues them about that rule. I'm surprised it hasn't already happened. Who will be the next first-time national champion? Oh, God. When was the last time we even had a first-time national champion? I mean, how far back in time do I got to go? Didn't BYU win a natty in the 80s? Was that their first one? I don't even remember the last time somebody won their first natty. Oregon is probably the best program right now that doesn't have a natty. They're probably the team that doesn't have a natty that's the closest to winning one. How many natties does Tennessee have? Well, they claim 6, but it's kind of like Alabama. Half of them are made up. 3 of Tennessee's 6 national championships are completely made up. Like, they claim national championships in years they lost their bowl game or finished. There's one year they claim a natty where they finished 4th in the AP poll. But they claim 6. Texas A&M won a natty, I believe, in 1939, if I'm remembering right. Yeah, it's been a long time for Texas A&M. Uh, 1949 was not pre-World War II. Just to correct you there. 1949 was post-World War II. Sleeper in the Big 12, Texas Tech. I like Texas Tech and TCU. Yeah, World War II ended in 1945. Florida has a decade or two of greatness and 90 years of absolute garbage. Yeah. Yep. Florida's been in the SEC for 10 different decades. They've only ever won the SEC in 2 of those 10 decades. They were just terrible in the other 8, including the current one. Texas Tech, I mean, they racked up in the portal. If those players pan out, Texas Tech could be a problem. I think there is a Tim Tebow statue in Gainesville. Well, the Pac-12 already added more teams, but it doesn't start until 2026. So this year, there's still just 2 teams in the Pac-12. Next year is when the expansion happens, but it's already happened. The teams you already know who the teams are and all that. It just doesn't go into effect until the 2026 season. But no, as far as being competitive, they're not a Power 4 conference. No. When the Pac-12 adds teams in 2026, it's not going to become the Power 5 again. They're not a Power 4 conference, Pac-12. Yeah, SMU's got a shitload of money. I think Gundy needs to ride off into the sunset. Oklahoma State needs to go a different direction. He's been there long enough. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get out of here. Appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. I'll be back Thursday to do it again at 9 p.m. So make sure you tune in for that. Hope everybody has had a good week so far. Enjoy the rest of your week.